The silence was the first sign that something was wrong. A silence alien to the normally bustling Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. No roar of engines, no calls from the control tower, no chatter of travelers, just an unsettling stillness that stretched on, minute by agonizing minute, until it became deafening. Word spread quickly, rippling through the terminals like a shockwave. All flights grounded, airport closed indefinitely. No explanations, just an eerie quiet and a growing sense of unease. What had happened at one of Alaska's most vital hubs? Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport wasn't just an airport, it was a lifeline, a vital artery connecting the vast, rugged expanse of Alaska to the rest of the world. For a state where road infrastructure was limited, air travel wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. The airport was a bustling hub, a constant flow of passengers and cargo, families embarking on vacations, workers returning from remote jobs, supplies flowing in and out of the state. Now that lifeline was severed, and the impact was immediate and far-reaching. Rumors spread like wildfire. Whispers of a cyber attack, a security breach, and even a strange atmospheric anomaly that interfered with radar systems. The airport was a hive of confusion and fear, with people anxiously looking up at the sky, wondering what was happening. Security checkpoints were overwhelmed as authorities tried to maintain order amidst the chaos. The unusual atmospheric disturbance caused radar screens to malfunction, adding to the growing sense of unease. Pilots reported strange phenomena in the sky, with some describing it as a shimmering veil that seemed to distort reality itself. The air traffic controllers were at a loss, unable to make sense of the data they were receiving. The official silence from authorities only fueled the speculation. Government offices remained closed, and the lack of any formal announcement left people in a state of limbo. In the airport lobby, passengers waited anxiously, their eyes glued to the news screens, hoping for any update that could shed light on the situation. The incident itself remained shrouded in mystery. Surveillance footage was blurry and inconclusive, showing only vague shapes and shadows. The foggy runway added to the eerie atmosphere, making it difficult to discern what was real and what was imagined. Eyewitnesses spoke of a sudden blinding light that flashed across the sky, illuminating the entire airport in an otherworldly glow. Passengers pointed upwards, their faces a mix of awe and terror, as the light seemed to pulse with an almost sentient energy. This was followed by an ear-splitting boom that reverberated through the terminal, causing people to cover their ears in pain. The sound was unlike anything they had ever heard, a deep, resonant noise that seemed to shake the very air around them. Some described seeing a strange, unidentified object plummeting towards the earth in the distance. It moved with an unnatural speed and trajectory, leaving a trail of light in its wake. The object was unlike any known aircraft, adding to the growing list of unanswered questions. Others swore they felt the ground tremble beneath their feet, as if the very earth was reacting to the events unfolding in the sky. The tremors were subtle but unmistakable, adding a physical dimension to the already overwhelming sense of dread. Whatever the truth, one thing was clear: something extraordinary had occurred. Emergency response teams were dispatched, and the airport was placed under investigation. News reporters flocked to the scene, eager to uncover the story behind the mysterious events. The authorities took the drastic step of shutting down the airport, a decision that underscored the severity of the situation. The once bustling runways now lay empty, and the gates were closed off, leaving the airport in an eerie silence. The world watched and waited, desperate for answers to the enigma that had unfolded before their eyes. Section 4, Stranded, Dreams Grounded. Inside the terminal, chaos reigned. The once orderly flow of travelers had turned into a sea of confusion and frustration. Hundreds of passengers were stranded, their travel plans thrown into disarray, luggage was scattered everywhere, and people sat on the floor, their faces a mix of exhaustion and despair. Families huddled together, anxiety etched on their faces as they anxiously awaited news. Children clung to their parents, sensing the tension in the air. Business travelers paced the floor, phones glued to their ears, desperately trying to reschedule meetings and salvage deals. Their suits and briefcases seemed out of place in the chaotic environment. The air crackled with tension, frustration, and a growing sense of helplessness. Arguments broke out between passengers and airline staff, each side growing more exasperated by the minute. Sarah, a young mother traveling with her 2 children, summed up the sentiment. "We're stuck," she said, her voice trembling, her eyes filled with tears. We're supposed to be flying home to see my husband, and we have no idea when we'll be able to leave." Her children clung to her legs, their eyes wide with confusion and fear. The airline staff behind the counters looked just as overwhelmed, their faces showing the strain of dealing with the endless stream of complaints and questions. Departure boards displayed a grim reality, flight after flight marked as canceled or delayed. The uncertainty was palpable, and hope seemed to dwindle with each passing hour. An elderly couple sat on a bench, their hands clasped together, trying to find comfort in each other's presence. They had been looking forward to a long-awaited family reunion. Airport staff moved through the terminal, handing out blankets and water bottles, small gestures of comfort in an otherwise dire situation. Time seemed to stretch endlessly, each minute feeling like an hour. The waiting was unbearable, and the uncertainty gnawed at everyone's patience. Some passengers tried to catch some sleep on the hard airport benches, using their luggage as makeshift pillows, but rest was elusive in the noisy, brightly lit terminal. The scale of the chaos was overwhelming, a stark contrast to the usual hustle and bustle of the airport. Dreams of reaching destinations were grounded, and the terminal had become a place of limbo. Section 5. The Ripple Effect. The impact of the shutdown extended far beyond the airport walls. Businesses reliant on tourism faced cancellations and lost revenue. Families were separated, important shipments delayed, medical supplies held up. The local economy, heavily dependent on the flow of goods and people through the airport, began to feel the pinch. The longer the airport remained closed, the more pronounced the effects became, highlighting the critical role this transportation hub played in the lives of so many. Section 6. Unanswered questions. Days turned into weeks, and the airport remained closed. The initial shock gave way to a gnawing uncertainty. The lack of concrete information from official sources fueled conspiracy theories and heightened anxieties. The incident at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport became a national mystery, a source of endless speculation and debate. What really happened? Why was the airport still closed? When would life return to normal? The questions lingered unanswered, hanging heavy in the air like the silence that had descended upon the airport that fateful day. Section 7. Safeguarding the skies. In this chapter, we delve into the critical measures and protocols that ensure the safety of our air travel. The incident in Alaska served as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of our transportation systems. It highlighted the gaps in our security measures and the urgent need to address them. It sparked a nationwide conversation about aviation safety, bringing together experts, officials, and the public to discuss and debate the best ways to protect our skies. The need for robust protocols became a central theme. Airports across the country began to review and enhance their security measures, ensuring that every possible threat was accounted for. The importance of transparency in the face of such events was also emphasized. Officials held press conferences to keep the public informed, ensuring that everyone understood the steps being taken to safeguard their journeys. As investigators worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery behind the incident, they uncovered critical insights that would shape future security measures. The focus shifted towards preventing similar incidents from occurring in the future. Experts brainstormed and collaborated to develop innovative solutions and strategies. The need for enhanced security measures became evident. Airports began to invest in advanced detection systems, such as facial recognition technology and high-tech baggage scanning, to stay ahead of potential threats. Clear communication protocols were also prioritized, ensuring that air traffic controllers, pilots, and ground staff could communicate effectively in real time was crucial for maintaining safety. The skies, once a symbol of freedom and connection, now held a new layer of complexity. The vast expanse above us was no longer just a pathway for travel, but a domain that required constant vigilance. Pilots and air traffic controllers had to navigate this new reality, managing complex flight paths and ensuring that every aircraft was accounted for. The sky, with its endless possibilities, was a reminder that even in the vast expanse above, we were not immune to the unexpected. It was a call to action to remain vigilant and proactive. We were reminded that unexpected turbulence could strike at any moment, and being prepared with robust emergency procedures was essential for ensuring the safety of all passengers.